Hello, this is our presentation for assignment number 7 for machine learning course, and it's about predicting FIFA World Cup 2022. In this presentation, we'll talk about our project idea, what is the project, and why we chose it, why is it relevant for us. Then we'll speak about data and feature engineering, what kind of data sets were used for training our models, and what data was relevant and had what features had predictive power. Then we'll talk about our classification models of choice, uh, uh, which models were the best one for making the most accurate predictions, and we will sum everything up in the last sections and the conclusions where we'll say what we learned from this project. So, project idea, as I said before that, it is predicting the results of World Cup 2022. The World Cup in general is the world's most popular sporting event. Around 95% of people know about the existence of World Cup, and a lot of people watch it. Um, Now, FIFA World Cup 2022 is hosted by Qatar, and matches are played now. But it has always been a very discussed topic. Who is the winner of who will be the winner of World Cup? How is my national team going to perform? Or what specific teams will perform either good or bad at this World Cup? So it's a very discussed topic, and people are very interested in knowing who will win the World Cup. Fans always base their decisions on emotions because they probably will pick their national team to be the winner of the World Cup. But we used machine learning to predict the outcome of this tournament, obviously based on data. Now Paul can
So,
talk more about what data we used.
for this project, we used three data sets from Kaggle, but only two of them were used for training, and the third one was used for a simulation. So we used a data set called FIFA Rankings. This had a list of the rankings and points calculated by FIFA for every national team. Then we used another data set which had the match results from 1872 up until the 6th of December this year. However, we only use data from 2018 onward from it. And the last data set included the matches for the groups during the World Cup this year, but that was only used for preparing the simulation to run, starting with how the groups would play. So we had two simulations. Um, Out of the data, we got a lot of columns. However, we boiled all of it down to four, uh, namely differences between points. So we took the rank difference between two teams that play together. We also took the difference in FIFA points between two teams playing together. Um, the reason we took both of them is that you can have two teams that are one rank away from each other, but the point difference can be big or small, which can signify how close or far apart those teams are. Then we also looked at we calculated the score of the last five matches played by a team. This was to show to have indicator of the recent performance of the team. So the performance from the last five matches, whereas the points overall it is from I don't know how many years back. The last five matches will provide a much better description of how the team is performing at the moment. And then we had a true-false feature called is important, and this was used to distinguish between friendly matches and non-friendly matches, and the ones that aren't friendly were considered important.
Next, we will talk about the models that we used. First, our choice was logistic regression. We picked it because it yielded the best results without overfitting, and besides that, it required much less need for tuning the hyperparameters in comparison with other models. Random forest, um, it's slightly underfit, even though the performance was okay, the results were good, but it required a lot of parameter tuning where we had to specify more than four parameters, and then it's very both computational heavy and costful from the perspective of time tuning those hyperparameters. That's why we didn't pick random forest. To our surprise, Naive Bayes performed good. It was obviously pretty fast, one of the model's main advantages, but we have those two dependent features that we described before, the FIFA ranks and the FIFA points. They're indeed dependent, so that's why we didn't choose this model because Naive Bayes assumes that all the features are independent. Uh, Last one, KNN. Um, it overfitted, and if we tuned it down to avoid overfitting, then it underfits. So it was definitely a no-go for our use case. As a result, with logistic regression, we achieved 72% accuracy, which we consider a success for this specific project because it's quite hard to predict a match in general, and let alone to predict a match at World Cup where there are a lot of external factors involved, but we'll talk about this in the next slide. We are happy with our result and compare with other projects that also involve predicting either international matches or predicting football matches in general. No one seems to go this mark of 70-ish percent, so we are happy with this result. In the conclusions, we analyzed the data and the results uh, that were simulated by our model. And by the way, you can check the simulations in the Jupyter Notebook, of course. But Brazil and Belgium are the favorites for winning the FIFA World Cup 2022. Also, those favorites are mentioned in media, and I think it's a general consensus to consider them favorites for this World Cup. But we already know that the matches were played for the group stage, and this is probably the biggest upset in this tournament, the Belgium's defeat. As you know, Belgium didn't succeed into advancing to playoffs, and by our model in the first simulation, Belgium was predicted to be the winner of World Cup 2022, but in reality, they never made it out of group stage. Morocco's sensational win streak was not predicted by our model. Uh, as we'll mention afterwards, there are a lot of factors that can make a team win, but our model and none of the ones that we studied while doing this project, no one could say that Morocco will win or predict that Morocco will win against some very uh, tough teams. FIFA points proven to be the feature with most predictive power. A reason for that is that FIFA points are calculated by a complex formula. FIFA has a formula on their website where there are a lot of different aspects that include the formula for calculating the points. This is why it is so good at predicting the result of a match. So it has a very important part in our project. And finally, we can say that it's definitely very hard to predict the results of a World Cup or a match football in general, because there are many external factors either that cannot be measured or cannot be quantified. For example, the referee judgment, squad formation, basically the lineup that the trainer, the coach chose for a specific game, the tactics that were chosen both by the coach or that were changed during the game, and also players' stamina and their motivation to play, and many other factors. Uh, in a nutshell, we are very happy with the project results. We consider that it was a fun project to do, and definitely machine learning helped us getting new insights into this wonderful football game and at this specific World Cup. Thanks a lot.